Hello viewers, I'm SB, and it's time for some more Total War Warhammer 2. We're going to be playing another Vortex campaign rather than Mortal Empires, because despite the fact that I'm pretty excited for Mortal Empires, it's not quite where I would like it to be yet. And I do want to see the plot of the Vortex campaign from another perspective, to see if all the Skaven-y stuff is still happening. So, today we're going to be playing as Tyrion. And I know what you're saying. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you know, hey SB, it looks like you maybe misclicked because you seem to have selected an elf. This is called immersion therapy. Alright, I got a thing about elves, but we're going to get over it. We're going to conquer it. We're playing as the High Elves today. Our faction effect, like, this guy's Lord effects don't seem fantastic. A significant upkeep bonus is cool. And this, I guess, is fine for global recruiting. But mostly it's because I wanted to try out High Elves, but I didn't want to play Techless, because Techless starts in the same part of the area, or same part of the world that we played last time, and I don't want to spend 300 turns in that jungle again. So we have some weird mechanics. We'll talk a little bit more about these as we get into the game. For now, let's press this button.
Who are the Asur? An enigma to men and dwarfs, who know them as High Elves. At the center of the great ocean lies Ulthuan, a paradise created by the Old Ones. But when the stellar gates collapsed, demons flooded the mortal plane. All was lost until Anarion the Defender strode forth. The first Phoenix King vanquished the demons with the aid of the Archmage Calador Dragontamer. It was Calador and his elven mages who created the Great Vortex.
This is actually kind of nice because I didn't really know what the Great Vortex was last time.
A maelstrom that siphoned the excess magic, withering demonkind. With the world purged of chaos, the elves took it upon themselves to become guardians and stewards. The twin-tailed comet is oft seen as an omen, but this time, its wake brought great peril.
The dragon with two tails flies lower than before. Its trail disturbs the vortex.
I have felt a change in the winds of magic.
Then write it, brother. Lead the mages of Safari. Bring all in the White Tower to bear, if you must.
Such lore is currently beyond us.
I suggest a scrying ritual in the pool of Isha. It may provide us with the answer.
Such a ritual requires fragments of fallen waystones. Far more than we have.
Then we find more. Make ready your ritual, Lordmaster Talarian. You will have your fragments.
I shall start the search in Lustria.
Lustria?
My brother will search here, in Ulthuan.
Why do you care so much about the greater world?
Why do you not? Stay here, brother. Protect Ulthuan. But I venture beyond our borders.
And while you meddle in far-flung continents, I will ensure you have a home to return to.
These guys are yelling at each other, but it kind of sounds like they're just agreeing with each other. It's a very loud, angry agreement. Also, I apologize for that sound. I don't know how clearly it's coming through the mic. But, of course, the moment that I need to watch a video in a recording, my rat goes nuts chewing on this, like, thing that we bought him for him to chew on. It's very loud. I would have bought something else maybe if I had known how loud it was going to be when he's gnawing on it.
Fellow Asur, rally to my banner. Ulthuan is under attack, and the Great Vortex imperiled like never before.
Alright, I assume we're going to be fighting Dark Elves a lot. Yeah.
No doubt Malekith or his twisted crone of a mother have sensed weakness in the Vortex. Their attack is blatant. They come directly for the sea gates of Lofern. The seat of the Phoenix King must not fall. Finnobar has entrusted me to lead the counterattack. Join my cause, brave Assur, and together we shall overcome. The Druki cannot be allowed to despoil the sanctity of Ulthuan. Draw your weapons, and by Assurian's will shall we prevail.
Okay, I feel like every fifth word there was a proper noun that I don't... Who's Assurion? Is that an elf god, or is that like the elf... Is that the elf king, or am I the elf king? I don't know what's going on. Listen, the lore is cool. It's good to know the lore, you know, to give you a little bit of context, but you don't really need it to win, so we're just gonna move forward. I'm sure helpful people can fill stuff in the comments, as they have in the past. So, High Elf factions gain influence as political events fall in their favor, which may be spent on court intrigues and on recruiting more powerful lords and heroes. We can also spend our influence on intrigues at the court, whispered deals in the Hall of Power that pull strings to improve or worsen the diplomatic relations between factions. So I know a little bit about this. As we acquire influence, we can spend it to give positive and negative modifiers to other factions' relationships, not just with us, but also with other factions, with third parties. So we might be able to manipulate the AI into fighting each other when we need them to and stuff. And then High Elves use trade agreements to spy on their partners. High Elf factions have full visibility over the territory of any faction they trade with. That's interesting. We'll at least know more about what's going on with the world. Alright, so our first quest is to build Lothern, Elven Village. Okay. Also, kill some Cult of Excess. Yeah, that's Dark Elves for sure. So we didn't encounter the High Elves and the Dark Elves all that much in the last campaign. We fought High Elves far more than we fought Dark Elves. I didn't do very many manual battles against Dark Elves, that's for sure. So we're going to be learning a lot of new stuff here, basically. Okay, let's build this thing, both because they want us to and because obviously we'll need the slots. And what do we have here? We have, okay, just a normal port-type building. Actually, this gets pretty great as you level it up. And then standard recruitment, so we have access to spearmen and archers. And up we can have Lothern Sea Guard, who are spearmen who also have bows, which is cool. And archers with light armor. Alright. And then Lothern Sea Guard with shields. Not terribly exciting, this recruitment line.
Tyrion, heir of an Aryan.
So we started with just some basic troops, and then Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, which are like ballistas, and Flamespire Phoenix. Hold on, let's select this guy because I want to actually read some of this stuff. What's his rebirth ability actually look like? Okay, he has a powerful explosion around himself, so you just run into melee and like explode on people. That seems good. Okay, so when his hit points get below 10%, he may suddenly regain HP, or he may instantly die. That's, alright, we'll try to keep his health above 10% if we can. He causes terror, that's good. And he has 12% damage resistance as long as his mana is above 50%. Alright, all that stuff is good to know. So over here we have a Dark Elf army that is larger than ours and has cavalry and stuff in it, so we probably don't want to go and engage on them right away, but obviously we're going to have to clear these dudes out because they are on all sides of us. Also, keep in mind, probably not relevant right this second, but settlements that appear to be ruins can in fact be Skaven. I don't think there are any Skaven on Ulthuan, but I don't know that for sure.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
So where's the edge of my territory? It's just the coast here. I want to move up on these guys, but I think we're going to need to recruit more troops before we can actually hit them, especially with them being in range of a settlement right now. So let's move up and pull a turn of recruitment. Now, my impression of Tyrion is that he's a great fighter. He's marked as a melee expert and a duelist. 77 attacks, 60 defense. Yeah, that's pretty real. So probably we don't need so many melee. I'm going to grab more archers than spears here. Oh, tech. We should look at our tech tree. Okay, I don't have access to any of my tech. We have to build a rally field. Oh, yeah, everything's locked behind buildings. Trade good advancements. So armor and defense for all chariot units, but requires a lumber yard. Oh, so every different kind of trade good we have unlocks a new tech. Plus weapon strength for, I'm assuming these are pretty elite units. 10 growth for all provinces and 10% income from all ports. Wow, we need a salt distillery. This is a great tech. Plus 2 public order in all provinces. Okay, so we care about trade goods like a huge amount. Alright. But I need a rally field at the very least to start research. Is that... Yeah, okay, it's the second level of this. Okay. Well, we'll get there. Let's see what this Dark Elf army does. Because we need these guys to move away from their city, or we need to do a lot more recruiting or something. So we can see there's salt right up there. Okay, there's a second Dark Elf army around. Man, I forgot how many factions there are at the beginning of a game.
Shield against the darkness.
So they ran into the city to start recruiting, or to start mustering themselves. That's 5 units, and then they have 8 units coming. If we move up to our border here,
Beginning my journey.
do another turn of recruiting, and then threaten these guys next turn. Like, even if this army is in that settlement, because it can't be mustering, we might be able to take it, and the salt seems like it's really important. And let's just, I don't know, more archers? We're elves, right? So archers seem important. Oh wait, we can't even do the trade good tax without this. Trade advancements, an elven embassy. Where is elven embassy? I'm assuming it's a green building. Okay, it's a tier 3 with no prereqs. Okay, that's something we are very concerned about. We'll be heading to that directly. I guess kind of an uneventful start. Oh my god. So this thing that my rat is chewing, it's like a little shelter for him, but it's made of like wood and honey and stuff. It's technically edible. But so basically he's just grinding his teeth down on a bunch of wood, and that's why it sounds like that. It's kind of driving me crazy. I apologize if it's doing the same to you. Well, that army backed off. I'm just going to take this. Even without the tech related to salt. Yeah, we don't need to manual that. Even without the tech related to salt, salt is still good.
To the victor, the spoils.
Do I want to loot and occupy? I could use the unit replenishment. Nah, we'll be fine. Let's take the lower public order hit. Oh wow, and we found immediately armor with some good stats and 10% ward save on it. That's lucky. And there's some money and some influence and some way fragments. So if you haven't watched any of the other stuff about the Vortex campaign, we win the game by performing the Ritual of the Defender. In order to do that, we have to accumulate all these way fragments, and we have to do these other 4 rituals beforehand as we creep up the way fragment bar. So it's important for us to try to locate sources of way fragments and take control of those sources. Let me zoom out here. Do we see? Oh, well, okay, I mean, get control of a province. All right, I see it. No, I actually can't see a source of way fragments right now. We'll have a look around. Oh, I guess there's other players around that are friendly with me. Hey, how you doing, buddy? You want a trade agreement?
If you wish.
Awesome. Yeah, we should probably like check out the other high elf forces, huh?
Loyal
So,
servant.
my understanding...
Choose your words carefully, Turncoat.
That
You have
seems
no
unlikely to
friends
work.
here.
Turncoat? Wait,
Never.
there's some high elf intrigue stuff going on here that I am not familiar with. Okay, we're not actually friendly with anybody except Ivres. But do these guys like each other? These guys like Trace. I'm hoping... No. Okay. So being friends with the Vress might help us out with
At your
Kothi?
service.
Maybe?
What would you have of the Phoenix King, stranger?
Any interest in a trade
No.
agreement? Traitor.
Impossible.
Who's the Phoenix King? Am I the Phoenix King? I'm not the Phoenix King. I can't be, or the thing she just said would not have made any sense. But there's some stuff going on here and I don't fully understand it. Alright, Route Archer. So yeah, we need a source of way fragments. Preferably, you know, sooner rather than later. And then I guess while we're parked here, we may as well just grab some more recruits. Let's grab some more spears. We'll just fill this stack up with kind of garbage units. Remember that we are paying significantly less for these units than we normally would have to. And then I'm gonna demolish this. We'll build up this building here. And we'll use this slot to make the salt thing. Yeah, so we're going to need a source of way fragments, and then we have to, of course, make sure that the AI doesn't complete all of their rituals before we can complete ours. Man, it is really pretty here. The jungles that we were stuck in during the Scroll campaign were not nearly as nice looking. This, like, rainbow over the mountains thing is really nice. I wonder if we could get Cairn Thel to maybe, like, lend us some support over here. Alright, build a rally field. So we're still in the part of the game where our objectives are largely a tutorial. It's like, here's how you make your empire work. It's a little bit dangerous to bail out on this place right now. So this will immediately give us some more money as soon as it finishes, because we'll be feeding the salt into our trade deal. Oh, it's the top level salt building that unlocks the tech. I bet that's the case for all of the resource buildings. You have to build up the thing all the way. I'm a little concerned about this just getting sacked if we leave, but I also think this is a real opportunity. Okay. The reinforcement range for this little city is the entirety of the island, unfortunately. I was hoping that we would be able to get over here, block these guys from taking the short path in, but not have to fight the
Servant of the king.
not have to fight the city too if they want to go after us. Actually, you know what though? Oh, I can't make it that far onto the island in any case. I was gonna say, actually, we probably can just kill that army and that garrison. But I guess we won't march. Let's just do a normal walk. Because if we do a normal walk, we can almost fill our stack this turn. I guess I could have global recruited, couldn't I? Because these would have been one-turn recruits from the global pool, thanks to our minus one-turn recruitment thing. Is this too many archers? This might be too many archers. Let's maybe take a couple more melee troops. We have got to get some more interesting buildings. So we're definitely going to build this, first of all, so we can start on our attack, and secondly, so we can get something going. The Court of the Phoenix King. 1 influence per turn, 10 public order. This is a very good building. And I'm assuming we can't recruit any heroes right now. Yeah, they're all locked behind buildings, as is usually the case. So I think I'll go ahead and do this. Even though I'm concerned that we may lose the city. We can't build defensive structures in a level 1 city anyway, so... If this turns out to be just I lost 800 gold, so be it. Certainly not the end of the world.
I am the defender of Ulthuan.
Oh. Hell yeah. Alright, good. So once we start getting in good with some of the High Elf factions, the rest of them should be shortly behind. Wow, you can make it all the way to that city, huh? I will admit to some surprise. I guess there is a road that runs all the way from one to the other. It's just I thought this was about the same distance. Oh no, I guess I could get to the city as well. I just couldn't get to that blockade position. So the Glittering Tower is the rest of my province. I do really want that. Okay, we can build a plus growth building with our small amount of money. I do like having plus growth in the capital early. The casualty replenishment rate's not bad either.
Champion of the Ever Queen.
Okay, so...
Ill considered.
13 plus 8 plus 5, huh? They have a pretty significant numbers advantage. They also have some units. Here's a problem. I don't know the Dark Elf armies well enough to judge the eliteness of these units. I'm seeing a lot of pretty low values as far as like attack and defense go. These guys are archers, so I guess I wouldn't expect them to be great fighters. I'm wondering if we could just take them. If we can just go over there and fight their armies and take them. The other thing we could do is march hard on Angariel, the maddest city in the Empire. Lothern has a 14-unit garrison with real walls. I could just trust that they'll be able to hold against a turn or two of Dark Elf pushing. And this has the benefit of drawing their attention off. Actually, why don't we go check out this thing in the ocean here? Searching sea ruins is usually pretty good for us economically. The site is home to an ancient shrine to a lost god. The place is bathed in power, and as your followers approach, angry runes upon the shrine illuminate, their glow a beacon to the wary. Choose, booms a deep, disembodied voice. Well, I think aggression is probably the place we're in right now. So 25% physical resistance for the entire army for 10 turns, and also some money. That seems alright. I think it's pretty good that we came over here. So what's the story with this? This is in the same region as that. Okay. Oh, and they have wine here. And also, this place is a strategic location.
Tyrion, heir of an area.
Okay. So unfortunately, there's no beach up here. It will actually be kind of a pain to get up on land. So we'll swap to flank speed. Oh, there's a beach right over here by the city. Okay. Yeah, so we can threaten the city from here pretty easily. What's the deal with these guys? What are they, like dark elves or?
It pains me to hear your barbarous tongue. Be quick.
Well, they don't seem to care. They don't seem to care for anybody. So we're getting positive diplomatic points from warring with the dark elves, but also we're getting negative points from all of our treaties and stuff. So okay, these guys are just mad. They're just mad at everyone except for Trace.
Defender of the Phoenix Throne.
Trace, who I guess we now have access to because we gained vision with that other faction by trading with them.
Such a rare treat. Welcome.
Wow. Politeness. Weird. Okay, they don't want the non-aggression pact, but they'll take the trade agreement. That's fine, that's the one I actually wanted anyway. Alright. Now we're starting to accumulate that web of positive reputation. So I don't think these guys are a real threat to Lothar.
Now that you are here, I will hear your words.
What's up? High elves love trade, apparently. Okay, they just started recruiting a stack. And it kind of looks like these guys aren't coming to help. It sort of looks like they're headed that way. Which is fine by me. Oh. It has been discovered that the Keeper of the Seal, who controls the officiating of all documents with the Mark of Lothern, has been abusing his position, using the seal on menial personal documents to enhance his power and prestige. Exposing him would condemn the man, but perhaps there are ways this can be worked to the king's advantage. Yeah, maybe. So, we could do nothing. Let him play his little games. We can't actually do that because we don't have the influence. But that would give us a massive public order boost. That's cool. We could gain influence from this. So, we can expose him publicly, defame the man to the court, and let him blow in the wind, which our people will not dig. But that's a lot of influence. We could replace him, pay a little bit of money to gain a bunch of influence, or demand that all documents are sealed in the sight of the royal presence so that he will stop being corrupt, which will, of course, distract our characters because we have to stand around and watch people sign things. I think I'm willing to just pay some money. -5 public order for 5 turns. We're at negative public order in our one spot as already, but Actually, dropping public order to negative 100 early in the game is usually not that big of a deal, because our armies are still nearby, and we can, if there's a rebellion, we can kill the rebels and get XP and money out of it. I'm going to expose this dude publicly. How dare you, sir? That'll be a good amount of influence for us to use for stuff. Alright, we gotta research some texts. We also have to continue improving Lothern, search ruined settlements for treasure. Yeah, it's still trying to teach us how the mechanics work.
Light will drive back the darkness. I am honored.
So we could start the siege. We're not quite in range to... Oh, no, we are. What is this? Where's the edge of my movement? Oh, the edge of my movement's over here. I was going to say, this is usually, you know, if you go into march mode, you'll have this much movement. But I, for some reason, thought that this was the outline of our movement area. No, the outline of my movement area is over here. It takes a lot of your movement to get out of a boat. You know what? I'm going to threaten the city.
Alario.
Well, we can just go for it. That's true. I did bring siege equipment, didn't I? So I have the siege attacker trait. You know what? We'll auto-resolve this. I will do some manual battles here in a second. We're going to have to do a manual battle with that big army, probably. But for the moment, I'm trusting the AI to cover us here. We've discovered King's Ring of Fury. Gives us a bound fiery convocation spell. It feels to me like we're getting some pretty good loot here. And we've unlocked the Invocation of Isha. We'll look at that in a second. Let's level up our dude. So, I took Route Marcher without even looking at anything else, just because I think Route Marcher is so required that I kind of feel like they should get rid of it. Because as long as this is here, this is always going to be the right first point. Now we have to consider. So we have some things available that will open up later. We could make our Lord a more powerful fighter. Let's see what his army buff stuff looks like. Attack bonuses for Spearmen, Archers, and Sea Guard. Missile damage for Illyrian Reavers. We don't know what those are yet. Big ammunition and reload time reductions for bow units. Big buffs for the flying monster units. These are elite melee. And over here we have Chariot and Dragon Princes. I'm assuming cavalry. Dragon Princes might be chariots too, honestly. Alright, and the construction of his trees is very, very similar to Skrulk's, it looks like. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff that is not yet unlocked. Okay. I'm going to continue down the blue line, I think, just because I think that Renowned and Feared and Quartermaster are really important combined. On Very Hard, I guess I should have mentioned we're playing on Very Hard. On Very Hard, upkeep is a real bear, and the thing that's going to prevent us from being able to run multiple armies. So it's really important that we get all of the upkeep reductions we can get. So, to continue down the blue line... more tradable resources faction-wide. Could be a lot of money once we have a lot of trade stuff going. Recruitment cost down, I'm not too worried about. Our chance of resisting enemy ambushes. I don't think any of these skills are great. It's just that I do think Quartermaster is great. And actually, all the stuff in the second box seems pretty alright. Plus 15% replenishment rate is huge. Alright, let's start building up Merchant Lord. It's not significant now, but it will be significant.
You are no friend of the Asur of Ulthuan.
Yeah, man, they don't like anybody. I was hoping that our stance with them would have improved a little bit.
I'm
So we're
waiting.
slowly getting positive.
Phoenix King, stranger. Never.
Alright, we'll come back and try that with them in a couple of turns. Alright, good news is we have been looting a lot of money. We probably should upgrade the settlement because we want to be able to put walls on it. We're not going to be able to keep the army nearby to protect it forever. So, okay, Illyrian Reavers are cavalry. So we have access to pretty early cavalry archers. That's actually really interesting. I've never played a faction with good cavalry archers, I don't think. And then over here we have White Lion, Great Axe Infantry, and Eagles. So the Eagles are a unit that I do feel like I have a pretty good handle on from the Scroll campaign, and my impression of them is that they are extremely bad. So I'm pretty surprised to see a Tier 3 building required to get them. It's probably just that the AI doesn't use them well. They're sort of like flying shock cavalry, maybe. They certainly cannot stand and fight with basically anything. What other options do we have? We do need military stuff. This will let us get a hero. And increase our income from entertainment buildings. Okay. We have a line of buildings that are income and public order. And then this is a buffer for them. That seems pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and build this right now because I want to be able to recruit a hero. Oh yeah, and then I smashed this place up real good while I was looting it. Hey, adding more ports to the Empire can only be good for us. So now we have access to archers with light armor. So they're not any different in offensive effectiveness at all. They just cost more. I think I'll just protect my archers. How about that? But I just do a good job of taking care of the archers I have. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go in for this 2-turn recruitment thing. We're going to need to probably move against these guys. So Safari could help us. It looks like they're going to settle that, though, and that's a real problem for me because we're going to need that. But they marched on it with a full stack. I don't think we can actually prevent them. Well, you know, Safari is the Elven Kingdom that dislikes all the others. Probably nobody will have a big problem with me just conquering them. That might be our medium-term goal. Because I don't know what exactly the strategic site over there does, but it's got to be important. Destroy the Cult of Excess. Man, I am working on it. Okay, so we're being raided. Let's have a quick look at our tech now. So we have some new stuff available. Weapon strength up for spearmen. Okay. This is something we're going to want to get early. If we're going to be using spearmen and archers a lot. So this is what I'm going to click for now. Let's see what else is available. Leadership and melee defense for the Sea Guard. Plus 10 armor for cavalry. Okay, so it's the cavalry line. Reload time reduction. And then reload time reduction for our siege stuff. This is probably going to be important, like, for the entire game. But I don't know that it's super important right now. And then speed up for all your dudes and bonuses for eagles. Yeah, okay. This seems absolutely correct. And they very carefully stood just out of my range while raiding. So we could try to ambush them. We can move to somewhere outside the city. And then go into ambush stance and see if they see that as an opportunity to come and take this thing from us.
Servant of the king.
The other thing that's good about this plan is that even if they don't fall for it, as long as our ambush check works so that we become invisible to them, they won't know that we're here and they won't know that they need to move away to be safe. And so we might be able to just jump them next turn. Let's have a look at our rights. So we unlocked the Invocation of Isha. Makes all of our forces immune to attrition, gives plus 10 untainted in all of our provinces, and increases our casualty replenishment rate tremendously. This is very good and powerful, but not at all relevant right now. After we make an archive, we can get the Invocation of Hoeth, giving experience to mages and lore masters. A lore master's a hero. That is a mage, I believe. A big boost, just passive experience. For our magic users, this is all magic user stuff. Over here, after we hit level 5 with our faction leader, okay, we get a right that increases public order and lowers construction cost. We'll probably be running this a lot. And after we have 3 techs, we can get the Invocation of Vol. A dilemma will offer a powerful magical item, and then recruitment cost and stats up for really good units, basically. And the Vol's Hammer ability during siege battles. A powerful explosion that affects city walls and siege equipment. And siege battles may be launched instantly. Oh, wow! Okay, so this gives us a magical siege weapon, basically, that all of our armies can use. That's really neat. These guys have cool rights.
The Druki are no threat.
All right, so for right now, we don't want to do any rights though. We definitely need to get that those left two unlocked. Those seem very good. Okay, good. See, they're not moving, and these guys aren't moving to reinforce them, which means that this turn we'll be able to jump them and probably kill this army pretty easily. At least that's my hope, because I believe raiding means you're tired, right? Yeah, vigor in battle wounded.
Shield against the darkness.
Let's go say hi.
Shall be done.
They might just retreat.
For my queen.
Whatever, it'll stop them raiding at least. Okay. The game thinks we should have this pretty easily. Let's go ahead and fight this one manually.
Or battle.
I don't think we need to fight this one manually, and I probably will get a worse result than the auto-resolve would have, but we gotta start getting used to our units. So they have some shock cavalry. We gotta be a little bit careful about that, but we certainly have a lot of spears. And then they have some bleak swords and some dread spears, man. Dark elves. And then some archers of their own, but we have so many archers. I don't know. Our archers probably don't have very good armor penetration, though, do they? This actually may not be an optimal composition against what looks, at least from the photos, to be a very high armor army. The tooltips have stopped popping up, unfortunately. We'll check when we get into battle. But yeah, these guys might be heavily armored. I think I remember that Dark Elves are heavily armored, so that could be a problem. We have a siege weapon and they don't. We have a phoenix and they don't. We'll just got to keep the shock cavalry out of the archers, and we'll probably be okay. And I guess out of the artillery. I was not expecting the Battle of Glittering Tower to take such a very long time to load. Oh, also, I guess I didn't actually look at Tyrion. I don't know if he has abilities. I think he doesn't. I don't think he's a caster. I think he's just a guy who's really good at killing people with a sword. Well, I guess we do have the fiery convocation thing. Good versus armor. So, I don't know. The archers certainly aren't that heavily armored. Alright, well. Probably this is a little bit... We might want to be a little bit more sophisticated than all of the archers always fire at the same target.
Orders received.
And then we'll just pull spears out to the sides. And have some spears lined up behind the archers as well. So bolt throwers probably need, not line of sight directly, but I imagine their fire is more like a cannon than a catapult. So we're just going to want to put them probably somewhere high up-ish. They're going to have to roll forward, I'm sure. They might be able to get that shot. The terrain definitely has a bit of an arc to it. They might be able to get that, as long as we can keep vision of them.
Heir of Anarian.
Alright, we have to be careful. The Phoenix does not have a lot of armor. It doesn't really have that much health either for a monster. Yeah, you know what? They're not that heavily armored. I've seen a lot of 30s. Let's do it. So, first things first. Standard rounds, which do mostly armor-piercing damage and massive bonus versus large, against this, where we lose basically all of our armor-piercing, but we get a bonus versus infantry, and also it shoots kind of like a shotgun-type projectile a little bit more. I like that a lot. Let's put that on. And they're going to have to come to us, right? Because this thing is going to... He's going to fire. They sort of have a clear shot. The green means clear, right? So a couple of them have a clear shot, and I guess they won't fire until all four of them do. Alright, we're going to need to move... And I guess if I just wait for them to crest the ridge, that's probably bad for me. Oh, wow, do we really already have range on them? Oh, I forgot. High elf archers have crazy range. That's right. Okay, let's not move then, because I waited for them to move into range. We'll just bombard them. That's a lot of arrows. Yeah, that's going alright so far. Alright, this bound spell is going to take a minute to cool out, to warm up, rather. So we're just going to, let the archers do what the archers do here. Actually, we should probably have them focus on the enemy ranged for right now. We'll let our archers hold, or we'll let our melee hold their melee. So I'll just put 2 units of my ranged on each unit of their ranged, at least where that's possible. You guys really don't have, you don't have the shot yet, huh? I guess they're just now cresting the hill. And then, as soon as they get close, we'll pull the spearmen in front here. Actually, I guess now that I've moved to... Now that I've moved to shooting at their range, there's no reason for me to wait anymore to pull my melee troops forward. The spears actually somehow managed to take the brunt of that cavalry charge. Okay, wow, we are breaking their archers down quickly. Alright, hold on a second. Let's let this guy get in. He could probably just go fight their lord, but let's try Wake of Fire. Powerful explosion in a small strike area. Alright. Let's move him over to here. Somewhere over here where he can just be by all of these dudes. And then I'm going to try that. We're going to test out our spells and abilities a little bit here. Alright, their dudes are already routing. Did that not really work because he wasn't on the ground yet? Oh, okay. So it's a kind of a small incremental thing, which is why you get so many uses of it. I see. Works for me. Alright, and where's my lord? Get over here and do stuff. Let's try this bound spell out. Oh, it's an additional phoenix. Okay, that's pretty alright. Okay, so you can't use it when he's engaged in melee. It's like a fly over them. It's kind of like a gyrocopter bomb sort of situation, I guess. Yeah, we seem to be crushing these guys pretty thoroughly.
As you say, sinner, I am wasting his spearmen.
Some good work there from our spearmen. Our archers are not having to move to chase because they can just shoot anybody from anywhere, it turns out. Also, I don't know what this guy thinks he's doing, but let's handle him. Alright, we're still kind of fighting these bleak swords. It would be cool if my melee could get over here and contribute a little bit. Alright, we're starting to take some actual fire. I want to zoom in to watch the animations, but I also want to keep an eye on the health bars. He is a really good fighter, it seems like. At least he's a really good fighter against a guy who has a crossbow in his hands. It's maybe not that impressive. Seems to have forgotten what I had ordered him to do, though. Yeah, well, that should be pretty much the end of that right there. Oh, they're going purple. This is a dark elf thing I don't 100% understand. I just know that sometimes during battle they all become purple, and that's bad for me somehow. Would you guys maybe consider taking up a position where you could actually fire? Not that we need them, apparently. Okay. So let's disengage this guy from melee. He should be able to fly up, right? And then we can try out Hey, did you forget how your wings work? Okay, as soon as he commits to melee, it kills the thing. It's not when he gets engaged on, it's when he engages. Well, they seem to have given up. Okay, yeah, so it's like a gyrocopter bomb type situation. You want to just like fly overhead, drop your 10 charges of this, and then engage afterward. That's pretty cool. Oh, they ran into the artillery.
Eager for battle.
Oh, this has a super long wind-up. I didn't aim that far enough ahead. Yeah, I got some of them. Okay. I feel like I kind of have the thrust of our units now. At least these early simple ones. 127 kills on that unit of archers. And honestly, the Phoenix was, I think, tanking 2 units of their melee sort of by himself. Like the back 2 had turned around and completely surrounded the Phoenix, and he was doing just fine.
For my queen. Slaves are always useful.
So we could take some unit replenishment here. Could execute the captives for 100 XP for all units. That's interesting. What's 100? Like in terms of leveling up, is 100 a tenth of a level? Is it half of a level? It's tough to know whether this is good or not. Let's take you for right now. Follower gained. Food taster. Okay. Alright, less likely to get poisoned. Works for me. Speed and melee defense. I think we'll keep focusing on our blue line. This is such a small buff. We get our rank at level 9. Or our mount, rather, at level 9. So if we run down here, we still have range on them, but they will get their entire garrison to help. It's a pretty small garrison, though, right? It's only 6 units with another 6 units of army backup. These guys are totally shredded. And my guys are actually in really good health. Let's push. I don't think this is good for them at all. Okay. The balance of power bar disagrees. That's fine. We'll use our superior human tactical abilities. So the key here is going to be crushing this army as quickly as possible, and then crushing the first reinforcement army as quickly as possible. You know, we don't want to fight 3 grouped up armies. We want to fight our big army against one small army 3 times in quick succession. We'll see how feasible that actually is. Also, this time I'll put my my siege weapons in a place where they can actually do something. How about that? Okay, so we have some immediate high ground, and the reinforcements are coming in from over there. Oh, that's interesting. So we could just, instead of advancing on these guys right away, we could just set up our army over here and intercept the reinforcements as they come in. Maybe just, like, set the archers to face this way and ventilate these guys as they try to approach to reinforce. That might actually be a good idea. We'll put the Eagle Claw bolt throwers here, just facing that way. All right, let's grab a couple of units of healthy spears. Okay, this big tree is a real collision blocker, apparently. Alright, we'll put some archers. Can I put archers up here? Is this traversable? It looks like the slope is too steep. We could do like this, right? Put some of these guys like just right here. Like right here, just facing this way so that they can let those dudes have it. And then the rest of the archers can be a different group. Actually, let's make this... Yeah, 3 is fine. Now remember, the enemy has cavalry. So we do have to be a little bit careful. But also, I don't want to be directly in anybody's way. You know, why don't you be the guy who's back here? Just in case the cavalry try to wheel around, I want to have guys on this side. And then Phoenix... Phoenix is more likely to be useful over here. And Tyrion will just kind of stand in the middle. Nah, Tyrion will be over here. We're gonna... This is where the majority of the fighting is gonna happen at the beginning. So let's do it. This is bad for them. This is a bad angle of reinforcement. Oh, look at those arcing shots. Interesting. Alright, so let's do this thing. I don't actually know what units are in these reinforcement armies. Okay. Alright, looks like this is happening. This shouldn't be too hard to break up. And then we can turn the rest of these archers around. We've actually got our first surrender over here. So it looks like they have a sword and crossbow guy. Okay, so they don't really have a lot of elite units, as you would probably expect. Given the way things seem to be going in the middle, I'm going to actually pull this army back. All right, you guys just keep shooting at whatever you can shoot at, and we're going to have our Phoenix fight archers. This should be a task that he is very well suited to. Yep, they seem to think so as well. Alright, I don't know if getting him this surrounded is actually a good idea. Are you guys shooting at my troops while you're being phoenixed? So the Phoenix should be able to chase these guys off the map pretty easily. Hey, focus. Start turning around. If you can just make them run out of... Yep, okay, so they're gone. Let's hit the next unit. Oh, with the height advantage, they're able to shoot over my troops. That's actually really nice. Alright, he's gonna kick some of their units out of the battle, which is pretty good. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of surrenders over here. This unit is already broken. We may not need melee troops on this side at all. Where are those horses? Did we kill the horses? Were there still... Yeah, maybe the horse unit was gone. Okay. Things are going well. Where is... Alright, the first charge of this thing is available. Okay, we'll cast it from this side, going this way. Man, wind spells are so much easier to use now. I don't know if it was a good idea for them to implement this thing where you can aim them like this, because a lot of wind spells are already among the best spells in the game, and now they're even better. Right, so these dudes are too focused on my lord to even face the correct direction. A lot of them are getting surprised by the presence of these spears. Okay, it's purple time. Again, I really don't know what this means. It's some kind of buff. Hold on, we could probably look. Okay, this is the thing, right? So 15 leadership, melee attack, charge bonus, armor piercing missile damage. Yeah, alright, not bad. That's not a bad buff, and 90 seconds is quite long. Yeah, this is just going super well over here. This was really bad for them, the way the reinforcements came in. But it's true, my army was between the settlement and the army we attacked, so... My Phoenix is actually kind of losing to these archers, straight up. He's not even being shot by the hero. The hero's facing this way. He's just not winning against those archers. It's possible the Phoenix is not a great melee fighter. I thought he seemed pretty good in that first battle. I don't know. He's not losing health very rapidly. He's just not getting the job done. These poor Dark Elves. Okay, the enemy lord is dead. A lot of his forces are fleeing. They're not all broken, but I'm gonna refocus these guys. So let's grab these archers, who I already have grouped, so I should probably just use the grouping. We'll see if we can get over here. You come over here, you come over here. And you guys, I don't know if they're going to be able to fire over the troops in the same way. Maybe, I'm going to leave these guys facing this way, because some of these are broken. The ones with the skulls won't come back. But these guys will turn around, so let's leave the bolt thrower throwing bolts until that problem is solved. Tyrion, yeah, seems to be a total monster in combat. He is crushing these guys. There's also something to be said for the fact that your archers seem to get to put a lot more damage into enemies. I'm going to back off the Phoenix because he's starting to get close to his rebirth or maybe don't threshold. And it turns out that our archers can handle this. Yeah, there's something to be said for the fact that when you engage one single figure against a ton of enemy units, there's a lot of open flanks for archers to fire into. A close victory. I don't know. It didn't seem that close. And also, it seems like we probably have killed this faction now. Yeah, close victory. Losses, 65. Only 33 kills for the Phoenix, but he did chase an entire unit of archers off the field immediately. And then 159 kills for Tyrion. That's good work. Okay, so here we can see. 100 XP is like a tenth of a level. That's pretty significant. I'm sure that as you get higher level, it takes more and more XP to level up. But I don't think we should need replenishment right now, because I think our enemies should be pretty broken. I'm going to take execute captives. Let's get a lot of little XP boosts all the time forever. Wow, he's finding really good gear right away. Alright, so we now have access to the invocation of Asuryan. It costs 2,000 gold to do that. So there's a lot of situations where doing this will immediately save you money. And then in addition, there's influence and public order on it. It seems very good. So I think I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait until we're about to build something important, like maybe the next level of the settlement, and then we'll do it. For now, let's finish this. We don't have to manual that. That's under control. 81 lost. Probably I could have done better than that. But we will we'll occupy this without looting it because it's not even.
There is glory to be won.
All right, +5 leadership for the whole army when fighting against Dark Elves. This is a good start. We got our province. We got our money. We got a lot of money. Okay, now we need to issue a commandment. So now that we own the whole province, let's see what our commandments look like. Campaign movement range -10% for armies starting their turn in this region. Okay, so we can slow down enemies moving through our territory. That seems like a very useful commandment. As well as -15% enemy hero action success chance and an increase in our ambush abilities. Tax rate and trade income rates up. That's useful. We'll probably rebuild Lost Splendor for right now because growth is really important in the early game. Unit XP and local recruitment capacity up, and banishing corruption. Okay, so High Elves seem to have very good commandments. This one and this one both are things that we will be running a lot, I suspect, in the future. But for right now, 20 growth. So once we have that up, we'll be at, once that kicks in at the beginning of next turn. I'm not sure if it kicks in before or after we get our growth for the turn. But in any case, wait, I'm getting -10 growth from something. What am I getting -10 growth from? Huh. Oh, when our populace is unhappy, it has an actual effect now. Was this something we were having to deal with the rats the whole time and I didn't notice, or is this just an elf thing? Because this definitely was not the case in the first game. So growth down, recruitment cost up, tax rate down. Okay, so we have to care about our public order above further than keeping it above 0, which is all I usually bother with. Okay, we need one more point here. A point of public order in the local province is something I'm not a huge fan of these skills, especially for your legendary lord army, because of the fact that you don't know where that army is going to be. So let's take something else. I'll take a point of wary. Wary seems fine. I'm very concerned about money, but I'm really not at all concerned about recruitment costs. It's a one-time cost that's usually not even very high. And alright, so we have access to Lothern Seaguard now. Let's compare these to, like, archers. How good are they at archer? Their missile damage is the same. Archers have a little bit more range and a little bit more ammo, so actually Lothern Seaguard are just fine as archers. And they have more armor and more leadership, and are obviously better fighters close up. Oh, but they cost over twice as much upkeep. Jeez, those are expensive units. You know what? I'm not getting my upkeep reduction on them, am I? Spearmen, archers, and silver helms. Okay, so that's part of it, but it's only 35%. These would still... If these guys were their normal upkeep cost, I bet these are still almost twice as expensive. To be perfectly honest, I don't know that I want to run them. They are better fighters than spearmen. They're slightly worse archers than archers. I guess if you do this, you can have 19 units of archers in your army. That's something. But I think for right now, I'm not going to... You know, our margins are thin enough. I'm not going to bother running those guys. Let's pull in... Let's fill the stack up the rest of the way with just basic units. And then we'll have a talk with these guys. Something needs to be done over here. Okay, so now that we've slain the Dark Elves, that should have some diplomatic effects, right? These guys are improving.
Greetings, fellow Asur. Unwise.
We're just going to ask everybody for non-aggression pacts, and anybody who doesn't give them, that's fine.
I speak for the Phoenix King.
But anywhere that we do get a non-aggression pact, it will make it so much easier for us to negotiate both with that person later and with that person's friends later.
I think not.
No, that's all I won't do. Who else?
Asur Princess.
You might.
Welcome to the court of the Phoenix King. Impossible.
Okay. That's fine. We should trend upward with some of these people. I'm assuming the southern ones. As, you know, word of the defeat of the Dark Elves spreads. You don't get all of the diplomatic bonus at once. It, like, ticks up slowly over time. What is Val's Anvil is down there, I'm assuming? Or... Yeah, there's not really anywhere else for it to be. So, who are these guys? This is Calidor. Do they like us? Which one is Calidor? I can't tell these elves apart. No, they hate us. They hate us a lot. Okay. They might have to go as well. And that's a thing we want for sure.
Order must be maintained.
You know what? Maybe we do want to just pop the Invocation of Asurion right now. It lasts 5 turns. 5 turns will probably be short enough, or long enough rather, that we'll be able to get our upgrade to our main settlement in that window. I don't know, maybe not. Let's hold off on it for now. But this was a pretty good start, I think. That's going to be it for us for today. We don't really know anything about the rest of the outside world, but it sounds like, from the cinematic, that's just sort of in character. Thank you guys for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow. We've driven the Dark Elves out of our land. Now it's time to drive all of the other elves out of our land, apparently. And we'll see you then.